Sawadee Krap, I'm JP Mestanza. It's February 25th. Welcome to Phuket Extra, brought to you by... The Fashida Phuket Hospital Director says Phuket will receive its first 4,000 doses of the Sinovac COVID-19 vaccine developed from China by the end of this month. Dr. Chalumpong Sukontapol, who sits on the Phuket Communicable Disease Committee, which oversees all matters relating to COVID-19 in Phuket, he announced the news yesterday, hours after the first 200,000 doses of the vaccine arrived at Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok. Portions of this batch will be sent to different areas of economic interest around Thailand, and that includes Phuket, which will receive 4,000 doses of the vaccine this week. In total, Phuket is expected to receive 68,000 doses of the Sinovac vaccine developed in China. Dr. Chalumpong said that if about 80 to 90% of people in Phuket are vaccinated and the coming tourists are also vaccinated, there's a high possibility to open the island to foreign tourists this October, which has been a goal announced by the Phuket private sector for Phuket to reopen. Meanwhile, 72 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed in Thailand today, raising the total to 25,764 since the outbreak began. The death toll remains unchanged at 83. 96% of total patients have recovered. It's jail time for 3 ministers in Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha's cabinet, including the Education Minister Natapol Tipsuwan, on charges of insurrection, among others, over the Bangkok Shutdown protests back in 2014 that ousted the Yingluck Shinawatra administration. After years of legal battles, the criminal court finally ruled yesterday that saw 26 people sentenced to varying jail sentences over the protests, indicted on several charges, including insurrection, criminal association, illegal assembly, and obstructing others from voting during the street protests from November 2013 to May 2014. These are the same street protests that were squashed when the military took over under the leadership of current Premier and then Army General Prayut Chan-o-cha, an entity that was known as the National Council for Peace and Order. Out of the 26 people sentenced yesterday, it includes Education Minister Natapol. It also includes the Minister of Digital Economy and Society, Buripongse Punakanta, both from the ruling Palang Pracharat Party, and each received 7-year jail sentences. Deputy Transport Minister Tawon Senyam also received 5 years. All three have now vacated their cabinet minister posts, although they will still keep parliamentary status for the time being. Also sentenced to 5 years was Suted Tasuban, the former leader of the PDRC, and one of the most vocal people during those protests. The monk formerly known as Luangpu Budai Sara, real name Subit Tongprasert, he was sentenced to 3 years and 4 months for also leading some of the protests in 2014. Out of the 25 people sentenced, 12 had their sentences suspended by the court. The whole thing comes just days after the 3 cabinet ministers survived a no-confidence vote along with the Prime Minister in Parliament. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Phuket Extra will be right back after this. Welcome back to Phuket Extra. The noodle vendor shot on Bangla Road by a drunken off-duty Phuket provincial police officer on Tuesday. He showed signs of recovery but remains under close care in the intensive care unit at Vashida Phuket Hospital. Arun Tongplab was shot in the stomach by Corporal Pontep Chanarong of the Phuket Provincial Police just before 6 a.m. on Tuesday, while he was just walking along the street on Bangla Road after collecting a noodle bowl from a customer. Doctors at Vashida Phuket Hospital say the bullet damaged his spine, and now they're waiting to see if he will be left disabled, although he is conscious but unable to speak and has no feelings in his hands at the moment. The victim's wife, their 4-year-old daughter, baby son, and mother have all been at the hospital since the incident. Police have taken quick action in arresting and moving to charge Corporal Pontep for the shooting. He's already been dismissed from the Royal Thai Police and faces at least 3 charges, including attempted murder. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Thailand is still looking to revive its battered tourism industry, and yesterday, the TAT governor said they are moving ahead with plans to ease restrictions for travelers to Thailand who are already vaccinated for the coronavirus, shortening the mandatory quarantine for all arrivals from 2 weeks to 3 days. This is one option for those already vaccinated. Another is to waive the quarantine entirely, according to Yuttasak Supason, the governor of the Tourism Authority of Thailand. He told Reuters yesterday that they want to start welcoming back tourists in the third quarter of this year. Thai authorities continue to try restoring confidence in the country's tourism industry despite the COVID-19 travel restrictions, and have bookings set for their new golf quarantine program this year with groups from South Korea and others who are already doing villa quarantine in Phuket. Still, the numbers pale in comparison. In 2019, Thailand received 40 million foreign tourists who spent $63.6 billion US, while last year there were only 6.7 million visitors with a revenue of 332 billion baht, all due to the pandemic travel restrictions. For more, visit thephuket.news.com. Thank you so much for joining us on Phuket Extra today, brought to you by the lyrics below. Join us again tomorrow. Until then, stay classy, Phuket.
คุณมองเห็นอะไรไหมครับ ถ้ามองไม่เห็นเดี๋ยวเราจะย้อนภาพให้ดูทีละมุม ถ้ามองจากรถที่อยู่ด้านหน้าคุณจะเห็นชายขี่มอเตอร์ไซค์ตามมาด้วยความเร็วปกติ ถ้ามองจากคนที่นั่งอยู่ข้างทางคุณจะเห็นชายขี่มอเตอร์ไซค์ผ่านไปด้วยความเร็วปกติ แต่ถ้ามองจากคนที่ขับรถตามหลังมอเตอร์ไซค์คันนี้มันติดไม่มีไฟท้ายก็เหมือนไม่มีคุณอยู่บนถนนตรวจสอบไฟท้ายให้ใช้งานได้อยู่เสมอ